Kotak Mahindra Asset Management, is meeting some old friends and will hopefully make some new ones as well as he makes his way onto stage right now. Nilesh bhai, please, if you can make your way onto stage. And to speak to him, Niraj and Tamanna, please can you join us on stage?
All right. A lot of cricket conversations will happen over the next 30 minutes, so be prepared for it. Nilesh bhai, thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciate.
Thank you Niraj bhai for having me over here. And thank you audience. आज करवा चौथ के दिन आप लोग सब यहाँ पे बैठे हैं. आपके बहुत शुक्रगुजार है.
So Nilesh bhai, the first question everybody's mind, we'll start off with cricket, right? That आपने last year बोला था कि this is not the match in which you hit fours and sixes, just consolidate, save your wicket in 2025. Prophecy was right, Brahmastra. Now, for the next Samvat, is it time to still save your wicket? Is it a green wicket which is moving around, the ball is seaming? Or is it now time to start taking the ones and twos?
Niraj, it is still a test match. It's not a one day or T20. You still will have to save your wickets. And yes, you can score 1 or 2 runs, occasionally 4 or 6. But it is still a test match. You have to play not for next Samvat, but for next couple of Samvat.
Nilesh bhai, first of all, thank you so much for coming. The conversation that we're having now, the title is about the art of patience. And the reason why we were so keen for you to speak on this and for our viewers to hear about this, because you have perfected the art of patience, you have talked about the art of patience consistently. But there are times when you have to maybe have a very deep look at what you have invested in. Are we there at that point right now?
Undoubtedly. There are many large companies which are behaving like dinosaur. Their tail is on fire, but they haven't yet realized. So no point in investing with them. There are many startups, small caps, which are far more nimble. We have seen a trailer of this in IT sector where mid-cap IT companies leverage AI to deliver cheaper, better, faster solution. They are growing at a much faster pace than large cap. They are still recruiting. The large companies are not. So what happened in IT sector is going to happen in many other sectors. Everyone should be paranoid. You should not take things for granted.
How many dinosaurs in the Nifty right now?
My guess, probably still 10 to 12.
Out of 50 stocks. So this,
yes.
There's about nearly 20% are dinosaurs.
Yes.
Wow.
Nilesh bhai, if this is still
and I'm underestimating, not overestimating.
Okay, are the problems for the market currently homegrown because of the nature of earnings growth, etc., or is it more global in nature? There were a lot of questions from the audience in the last preceding sessions. That is the India-US relationship the key for the markets to do well? Is the Donald Trump uncertainty a very big uncertainty? How do you think about all of this?
So let me give an answer slightly in lighter vein.
Sure.
I think the US tariff is a blessing in disguise. It has pushed government on the reform path. For example, we saw RBI giving in this monetary policy leeway on lending on almost 21 items. Capital market exposure went up, acquisition financing was permitted, decentralization of activity was done. I don't think so this would have happened unless until we would have been pushed to the corner by President Trump. Second, we are now looking to stimulate domestic economy. Last 10 years we were focused on creating supply side reform. Now we are pushing demand side reform. There is focus on creating consumer demand that hopefully will lead to virtuous cycle as more consumption creates more jobs and more jobs create more demand and more demand creates investment. So to some extent, this is blessing in disguise. We had slowed down a bit on the reform push. Now there is urgency.
Okay.
But this is partly lighter vein comment. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, but so is this push that is being done by the government on the consumption side, Reserve Bank, etc., and more reforms to come from what we understand. ये तो हमें पता ही है कि अगर नीलेश भाई गवर्नमेंट को भी एडवाइस करते हैं, तो इसलिए मेरा ये क्वेश्चन दोनों तरफ है नीलेश भाई कि डू यू थिंक दिस इज गुड इनफ फॉर अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ एंड सेंटिमेंट टू इम्प्रूव, or does more need to be done?
So undoubtedly sentiment will improve if there is a tariff deal. There will be immediately a relief rally. But for long-term performance to improve, we really have no option but to keep on improving ease of doing business. We have done a lot, but there is a long distance to cover. For example, how many of you are aware about Luna? Not many people would have heard about it. When DeepSeek came and claimed that it was created in $5 million, everyone accepted and forwarded. No one bothered to check about the GPUs going into China from Singapore and Malaysia. Now, an Indian startup in Bangalore has created a voice AI which is closest to the human voice, one of the best available globally in under $1 million. And we don't even know about it. We don't even circulate. And when I circulate, people are asking Grok, is Nilesh bhai telling the truth? मतलब चाइनीज प्रोपोगेंडा बिलीव हो जाता है, बट इंडियन स्टोरी बिलीव करने में तकलीफ हो रही है. नाउ आई डोंट थिंक सो वी हैव डर्थ ऑफ टैलेंट. आवर चैलेंज इज, कैन वी गिव इकोसिस्टम फॉर दैट टैलेंट टू डेवलप? Can Luna scale up to an extent, remaining an Indian company, so that globally people start using his voice or their voice? What we are lacking is the ecosystem in terms of availability of risk capital, encouragement to the domestic innovation. Matlab, imagine if Tata's launched India's first homegrown car, Indica. Was it the best of the car? Answer is no. It was not at all comparable to Mercedes. But if as a consumer I accepted Mercedes from Tata at the first attempt, how will it get created? पहले इंडिका से चलाना पड़ेगा, तब जाके मर्सिडीज बना पाएंगे. अपने को मर्सिडीज पहले से चाहिए, इसलिए इंडिका भी नहीं बन पा रही है. So we'll have to encourage Swadeshi, we'll have to encourage local talent, we'll have to create ecosystem so that our entrepreneurs can thrive. Then earnings growth is guaranteed.
I must add before Tamanna asks her question, Nilesh bhai, कि परसों की बात है, सुबह सुबह शो पे हम दोनों थे, मैं तमन्ना और एलेक्स, और हम तीनों ने रादर वो जोहो मेल का ईमेल आईडी भी बना दिया.
That's true. We're all on Zoho Mail, and I think it's exciting the way that the government is also pushing for it. I just want to take that point forward, Nilesh bhai, because you sit on the Economic Advisory Council of the Prime Minister as well. जिन reforms की आपने बात की, the ones that we have already put in place, maybe as a response, maybe because the time was coming to the tariff attacks. Is there more coming? What is the thinking? Because we're seeing a push on rare earth mining. We're seeing a push on in Atmanirbhar, on semiconductors, on data centers. The clarity seems to be there. How far are we willing to go as a nation?
So, I'll put it like this. जैम से जामा तक जाने की जरूरत है. So, जैम represents जनधन, आधार, मोबाइल. अब उसके पीछे एक और ए लगा दो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का. कैन वी लेवरेज एआई टू डिलीवर चीपर, बेटर, फास्टर सॉल्यूशंस टू द वर्ल्ड? थिंक ऑफ एलएलएम्स एज द हाईवे. अब हाईवे नया बनाने की तो जरूरत नहीं है, देयर आर इनफ हाईवेज. कैन आई क्रिएट buses on those highways whereby I can take charges from the commuters, pay the toll to the highway builder, and yet be profitable. If I build many buses, I will own the highway. So we need to really put jam to JAMA, artificial intelligence added. In terms of reforms, there are many coming. For example, shipbuilding, Indians spend about $60 billion a year in logistics cost. Very few ships are owned by India. Today, if you rent a ship, probably the cost will be 12% dollar. We are putting money in American treasury at 4%, might as well invest in buying a ship and earn 12%. So shipbuilding, similarly, there are many other reforms on ease of doing business, finding alternate destinations for our exports. Today, textiles, gems and jewelry, handicraft, aquaculture, we won't be able to export to US. We must find alternative buyers. Probably there is a need for a credit guarantee mechanism for entities hit by this tariff. So a lot to do.
No, so just on the AI portion, Nilesh Bhai, I want to ask a follow-up because there is a lot of commentary that India may have, or Indian companies to be more specific, may have missed the bus on AI. You spoke a short while ago about dinosaurs with their tail on fire, but taking it forward, is there an opportunity to now jump on at the right moment? It's unlikely we'll build the next NVIDIA or maybe the next OpenAI. Where is it that we can fit in the value chain?
So one, is it difficult to build next NVIDIA or OpenAI? Answer is no. In all those companies, there is Indian talent working. In all the codes of AI, there is Indian talent, Indian contribution. We have let go the talent go. If we had retained those talent, those companies we would be able to create in India. How many of us know about Dr. Gurtej Singh Sandhu?
Anybody?
कोई चांस ही नहीं है. हमने अपने हीरोज के बारे में कभी बात ही नहीं की है. He is the gentleman who has more patents than Thomas Alva Edison. How many of us have heard about Mr. G. Ramchandran? कोई चांस ही नहीं है. He is the person who should have got 3 Nobel Prizes. 3 Nobel Prizes, and we don't know about it. Because as Indians, we have never learned the art of appreciating another Indian. आपने बचपन में वो जोक सुना होगा. There was an Indian exporter जो क्रैब एक्सपोर्ट करता था, एंड ओपन कंटेनर में ऊपर लीड ही नहीं डालता था, उसके भी पैसे बचाता था. तो उसके इंपोर्टर ने कहा कि भाई ये सब क्रैब तो जर्नी में निकल जाएंगे. इसे डरिए मत, इंडियन क्रैब है, जैसे एक ऊपर जाएगा 2 लोग उसे नीचे खींच लेंगे. सो वो मेंटालिटी अभी भी है. जोहो मेल, ऑल ऑफ अस शुड अडॉप्ट. अराटाई, ऑल ऑफ अस शुड अडॉप्ट. एंड दैट विल क्रिएट द स्किल, that will create the ecosystem.
In fact, Zoho has also built an authenticator, as we learned as we were doing that email. So you can actually use that authenticator too if you like it. But Nilesh Bhai, so there are some things that India needs to do, some things that I'm sure you know from your prism that India is doing well, and the highway for development, growth, talent, etc. is all there. Where do you think India is doing well, which average people, like at least I, would not know because I may not have studied it enough or have enough insights, but you would certainly have.
So how many of you know about concept called category management? कोई चांस ही नहीं है.
नीलेश भाई, आप बाउंसर पे क्राउड इज फीलिंग कि आपने कोई पढ़ाई नहीं की.
ये तो सेव द विकेट वाला मैच हो गया है.
आई थिंक नीलेश भाई के सेशन के लिए पहले सब पढ़ाई करके आइए.
No, but please make your point.
So there is an Indian company which is global leader in category management. Now what is category management? It is essentially going to a company and saying that you are operating in so many locations, you are buying so many goods. I will be able to tell you whether you are buying goods at appropriate price or not, and are there competitors who are buying it at a better price than you. How did that company achieve that skill? First, obviously, it started working, but later on, the network effect came into play. If I come to you, Niraj bhai, and say that I'll be able to tell you whether you are purchasing efficiently or not, and for that information, can you share what you are purchasing? It's a barter. Category management is the place where you tell customers about what you are buying and whether it is competitive or not. We have 50% market share in that category.
Wow.
A small entrepreneur somewhere doing this. I went into Hubli, Dharwad. There is an entrepreneur who is making rivets which are supplied to Airbus. Now imagine sitting in Hubli, Dharwad and making rivets which are useful for Airbus. So again, my limited point, in India we don't have dearth of talent. In fact, we have so much of excess talent that we are sending some to America and Europe. We have to encourage that talent. That ecosystem is missing. We have improved a lot, no doubt about it, but we can do a better job.
But then the follow-up is still remaining, Nilesh bhai. Where is it that you think, with the limitations that India has, that there are good things happening? जहाँ पे आपको लगता है there is a highway of growth.
So one thing about India is that whatever I say, opposite is also true. In BKC, if someone comes very bearish on India, हम उसको जियो दिखाते हैं कि देख भाई दुनिया की सबसे महंगी शादी वहां पे हुई थी और तेरे देश के HNI वहां पे बारात में डांस कर रहे थे. वो ठीक हो जाता है. अब कभी कभी विजय भाई कोई हमसे भी बुलिश इंडिया पे आ जाता है तो फिर उसे जमीन पे लाना भी जरूरी है, तो उसे दूसरी विंडो पे लेके जाते हैं, धारावी दिखाते कि देख भाई धारावी भी यहीं पे है. In 1.5 kilometers in BKC, you can make someone bullish, you can make someone bearish, and all of you are stating truth. So there are few things in which India is doing extremely well. For example, in US, 40% of generic medicine is provided by Indian manufacturers. I have received a ECG from a friend saying that can you check with your doctor, based in US. Doctor looked at his ECG and said he should go to hospital. That guy said, I am in the hospital but no one is attending me. I have spoken so much about ease of doing business. Let me give you an incident about what is ease of doing business in some other country. So Vijay bhai, there is an entrepreneur जिसने जाके एक सिक कंपनी खरीदी जर्मनी में, एंड वो ग्राउंड फ्लोर थी तो उसके ऊपर उसने ग्राउंड +1 किया. उससे 200 मीटर दूर किसी के घर थे. घर वालों ने म्यूनिसिपैलिटी में कंप्लेन कर दी कि ये एक फ्लोर की फैक्ट्री बन गई, तो नाउ आवर स्काई व्यू इज ब्लॉक्ड. द कंपनी हैड टू पे $2-3 million to those houses to give the approval and paint that entire wall in a sky blue color. वहां पे लोग 4 दिन काम करने को तैयार नहीं है. इंडिया में लोग 7 दिन काम करते हैं. So there are many things which is good for us, but as I mentioned, whatever you say, opposite is also true in India.
You know, you spoke, Nilesh bhai, about the talent which has built some of these large companies and their Indian origin. You said they should come back. With what has been done with H-1B visas, with the messaging going in from the current US administration and the direction in which they're headed, do you think this is the opportunity, not just for those who may want to come back, but even for students? Because remember, that's how our brightest go. How do we ensure that we retain and bring back our brightest talent?
So Tamanna, you can do as much for India sitting in India as you can do from outside India. If Sundar Pichai is running Google, can he put Google's data center in India rather than in Singapore?
But Trump won't let him.
Singapore में तो डाल रहा है ना. And anyway, their largest customer is in India. So you can do as much for your country sitting in the country as much as you can do from outside.
So, you know, when we are talking right now, because let's talk a bit about the Diwali mood which is coming in, the way people are looking at their portfolios. It's been a tough 1 year. Do you see, all things considered, because you are, you know, a bullish investor, you're someone who's bullish about the Indian story, do you see this changing anytime soon?
Equity market giving positive return? Yes, of course it will change.
No, anytime soon. Of course it will change.
It all depends upon what is your definition of soon. If it is
what is your current definition of soon?
So I don't invest in equity for 1 year. I invest for 5 years. For me, that is soon. Vijay bhai galat bola to bata dena.
So the real boom seems to be in commodities right now. There was, I think, on silver ETF also there was an announcement that you made about a fund not taking in new investments, etc. What is happening in your view in this space? Is it euphoria? Is it maybe created by panic? What's happening in gold is now happening in silver, coming from the US. How are you seeing that entire space?
So silver is poor man's gold. The gold-silver ratio was getting stretched onto the extreme. And that's where we have seen investors coming to buy silver. There is industrial demand for it in solar cells, PV. Then the mining cost has gone up. And finally, we heard that Saudi Arabian Central Bank bought silver ETF. So if we have seen when central banks bought gold, what happened? People are front-running central banks.
Wow, okay. But Nilesh bhai, do you think there is a turn for hard assets? Because gold and silver is one thing, but palladium, nickel, zinc, copper, everything is shooting up. You look at cycles very well, Nilesh bhai. Do you think
Niraj
this is a
bhai,
cycle?
even a painting will become hard assets the way dollars have been printed. So art also will become hard assets.
You think art market
Yes.
is the next boom?
Yes, quite likely.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, in the Indian art market, I think the Indian art has really picked up steam. No, but seriously, Nilesh bhai, do you think that...
I'm serious about
No,
it.
non-art, I'm saying hard assets. Do you think metals
Yes.
have a bull run ahead?
Absolutely.
You think so? Okay.
So please remember, Niraj, they are all commodities. They'll go up as well as down.
True.
When central banks started selling gold, it fell from $800 to $200. अब यही लोग खरीद रहे हैं तो 1200 का 4000 कर दिया है. Never fight central bankers.
Yeah, very few people succeed. That's very
In
true.
debt market we have learned that hard way. इसलिए metals में हम उनके compete नहीं करते, उनको front run करते हैं.
Okay. नीलेश भाई, एक ideal portfolio allocation next 3 साल के लिए क्या होगा? I mean, आपने बोला है कि equities के लिए it is still the time to be cautious, start taking 1 and 2s, but not maybe 4s occasionally. What about gold, silver? What about debt? What about real estate? Quote unquote crypto?
So crypto, I don't have a view,
No, let's
but
leave
if
it.
you have risk appetite, please go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But you know, the excitement about crypto, the fact is that especially among young investors, Gen Z investors, is on a peak right now.
So again, if it is suitable to your risk appetite, please go ahead and do it. But for an average investor at this point of time, I will say somewhere around low double-digit allocation to precious metal, both gold and silver. If you can get palladium and platinum, more the merrier. About 30-35% debt and balance in equity. That should be a reasonably good allocation. Real estate, surely why not?
We should get a mic to Vivek Oberoi in the audience who's asking a question to Nilesh Bhai. Vivek, great to have you on NDTV Profit Ignite. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, and Vivek is an accomplished investor and fund manager
Yeah,
himself. But you would have a question for
astute investor.
the man here, right? Maybe.
Also from a also from my dhanda perspective, I'm also big in real estate. So I was wondering why he's ignoring us real estate guys.
विवेक भाई मैं आपके लिए रख रहा था.
आपसे कोई नहीं जीत सकता है ना बातों में ना numbers पे.
No, so real estate I think is not, because there is a theory actually that when AI comes in, it's only the hard assets that will survive. And what are you going to do about real estate? You can't replace that with AI.
So one thing which will be a trend going forward is innovation in real estate financing. REIT InvIT has already arrived, but my feeling is that at some point of time tokenization will come. Nandan Nilekani was the force behind Aadhaar, behind UPI, behind ONDC. Now they are talking about tokenization. He has made some very interesting presentation how tokenization can unleash the illiquid assets, and real estate will be one of that. So my feeling is that it's not just the real estate per se, but also all the innovations around real estate which will deliver opportunity to investors, be it REIT InvIT, be it tokenization.
Nilesh, the other thing is this whole infra boom. I mean, maybe right now Mumbai is on a J curve, So Bombay has seen a lot of stuff, right? We just wrote in an article that last week belonged to Mumbai, from a global fintech fest to the metro line to the airport to the Mumbai app. So it belonged to Mumbai, so to say. But all over India, we're seeing this infra boom of sorts in order to ease congestion, make life simpler, etc. Is that impressive enough, or do you think more is going to happen? You would have some great insights into this.
Niraj bhai, I'm coming from Lower Parel side.
Oh, I know your pain from Juhu to Juhu to
You
BKC.
need a helipad there.
So, like, we have built New Mumbai Airport, great. Now we are thinking of building a tunnel between New Mumbai to BKC. When will the tunnel arrive? Undoubtedly, we are building infrastructure, but is it seamless? Undoubtedly, we are building infrastructure at a scale, but is it speedy? In Wuhan, when there was a COVID crisis, they built hospital in 10 days. हम तो 10 दिन में अस्पताल का नामकरण भी नहीं कर पाएंगे. So we need to not only go for scale, but also speed and seamless connectivity.
From connecting, I think, cities and locations to connecting new hope for markets. Thank you so much, Nilesh Bhai, for joining us
Thank you.
today and giving us your insights on how patience will eventually win the game. That's, of course, Nilesh Bhai for you. Thank you.
Can we have a quick photo op with Nilesh Bhai in the center?